Hey, what's going on? Jay Lopez, #1 body transformation coach for entrepreneurs here. So in this segment, we're gonna talk about salads. Salads seem to be pretty boring for a lot of you, from what I hear during consultations and through my subscribers list. So let's talk about it, okay? So how do we prevent ourselves from becoming bored with salads? I would say you definitely have to be open-minded and you have to be ready to step out of your norm when it comes to making your salads, okay? So what I have here is a spring mix with tomatoes, onions, and cucumbers, okay? So this is pretty simple, right? Nothing to overthink. One thing that I like to do is switch up my salad dressing. So I only have 2 right here, but I will tell you that I typically switch between about 3 or 4 different salad dressings, okay? Heavy ranch is not one of them. Blue cheese is not one of them. For those of you that really want to shred the belly fat, trim down when it comes to the weight loss and tone, not saying that these dressings just completely have to be eliminated, but you really want to lean toward more dressings that do not have these unhealthy fats in them, okay? So Greek vinaigrette and balsamic vinaigrette. Another thing that I like to do a few times a week is switch up my protein. So right here, I just have one source, which is, well, one source of meat protein, right? So this is salmon, right? I pretty much grilled this with some garlic seasoning and a little lemon pepper, okay? One of my rule of thumbs when it comes to making my fish and chicken and turkey is to not overdo it when it comes to the sodium, okay? So for those of you that are wanting to keep the blood pressure low or lower the blood pressure, rule of thumb for me is 1 sodium-based seasoning. Everything else will pretty much be herbs, okay? So over here, I actually have some eggs and walnuts. So these are honestly great additions to any salad for those of you that are wanting to up the protein. So if you're kind of tired of doing the fish or the chicken throughout the week, then you can just swap those out and roll with some walnuts or some eggs. Almonds are good as well. So almonds are also a great addition. No cheese. For those of you that are really wanting to crush those 90-day body goals, if you know that cheese is one of those things that you crave a lot of times, I would say swap out the cheese for something a little bit more healthier. Mushrooms are always a good addition as well. So a few prepping tips, okay? So I have some meal prep containers over here. So pre-making the salads earlier in the week, it will save you a lot of time during the week. So for those of you that are always on go or always busy, if you know that you're not really gonna wanna come in on a late evening, or you're not gonna wanna wrap up your work day and then have to go into the kitchen, I would say map out that time earlier in the week to just go ahead and prep your salads for the week. You'll be good to go. Another thing, so what I have here is a small container and some Ziploc bags, right? So for those of you that are on the go, if you're not a fan of containers, because I'm not always a big fan of using containers, I find that containers will take up a lot of space. And if you're the type that doesn't really have the time to be in the kitchen and do a lot of dishwashing and things like that, Ziploc bags and containers are a good way to go. So what you could do is, you could actually, so you can put your dressing in a container, a few containers, right? Put your dressing in containers, and then, now this is just for the day or the next couple days, right? So I'm just gonna get a handful of this and put it in the Ziploc bag. Cool, good to go. And you know what? I'll just put a piece of salmon in here too. Great. So you could kind of like pre-pack a couple of these in the fridge, store them. When you know that you're on go, no problem. Grab the bag, grab the dressing. Once you get to where you're going, and you don't even have to warm this up. Like, you can eat the salmon cold or the chicken. If you're not doing that, then you have eggs or walnuts for your proteins. That's great too. Once you get to where you're going, dump your dressing right in. No problem. Seal the bag, shake it up, and grab your fork. Stop anywhere and get a fork if you just happen to forget it, right? Simple, good to go. So no excuses for being on go with weight loss goals. If you have the goal of losing weight, you have the goal of toning, you wanna get this body transformed, make it a priority. That's what it comes down to, okay? We're always gonna be busy, we're always gonna have things to do, but understand that when you make your weight loss goals, when you make your body goals a priority, it's literally going to give you more energy, more productivity, a better mood throughout the day. It's just the overall big win, especially when you lose the weight and maintain it, okay? So I hope this tip has been very helpful. So for more tips, feel free to visit trainergod.com.